Ito bhavatu lokocha, meaning, may all beings in the universe be well and happy was one such thought. Working for a noble ideal, then the ideal of the greater good of the greater number became a passion in my life. Ito bhavatu lokocha, meaning, may all beings in the universe be well and happy was one such thought. Working for a noble ideal, then the ideal of the greater good of the greater number became a passion in my life.
Right.
ආයුබෝවන් සියලු දෙනාටම දවසක් වේවා.
Ayubowan, good day to you.
ඇක්සේ සමානලාබී සර්ව ව්‍යාපාරයේ නිර්මාතෘ ආචාර්ය ඒ.ටී. ආරියරත්න අභිනන්දනය කිරීමේ උදෙට පැමිණි ඔබ
I welcome all of you to this very special evening today.
අපි
Milestones in a noble journey. Today, we are marking a very important milestone in Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne's journey. From 1958 to 1972, Dr. Ariyaratne worked as a teacher at the Nalanda College, Colombo. So, to me, as a past student of Nalanda College, it gives me great pleasure and honor to be hosting this event and moderating this event today. Dr. Ariyaratne worked with
පාලන සමයේ
Principal N.W. Karunaratne, who introduced Sinhala language science teaching to Sri Lanka. During that time, Dr. Ariyaratne worked with a large number of
සහභාගී කරවීමට
students and teachers from Nalanda College to engage in
සේවය කරන අතරතුර තමයි එතුමා
various activities for greater good. In 1969,
වෙනුවෙන්
for empowerment of community, Dr. Ariyaratne was awarded a Ramon Magsaysay Award from Philippines. This was a great honor bestowed on Sri Lanka at that time. So I made this very brief introduction so that all of you in this August assembly can reminisce back into these great milestones in this journey. So to officially commence today's event, now I invite Executive Director of Sarvodaya, Mr. Chaminda Rajakaruna, to deliver the welcome speech. Thank you very much, Rajiv. Venerable Henepula Gunaratna, Venerable Kuppya Vatte Tero, and also members of clergy representing Hindu, Christian, and Islam faith, and all other representatives of religious clergy. Today is 5th of November 2021. To all of us in Sarvodaya family and to Sri Lanka as well as the entire world, today is a very important day. Today, Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne celebrates his 90th birthday. If not for a COVID-19 pandemic, we could have had a face-to-face event where we could be with him in person. However, it is great to see such a big turnout online for this online forum. Today, representing many other countries in the world, representing different administrative districts in Sri Lanka, a large number of people are gathered here in this forum. So some of you are coming from different countries, from different time zones, but still you have set aside some time from your busy schedules to be with us, which we appreciate very much. And also from Sri Lanka, we can see people joining this forum from so many different parts of the country. In addition to that, Dr. Dan Siegel, who is going to be our keynote speaker, and Dr. Sarath Gunapala, we extend a warm welcome to you. And in addition to that, representatives from civil organizations, non-government organizations, representatives from different villages. Many from our Sarvodaya family are here with us. So today we are all ready for this session. So I will now wind up and move on to the next session of our agenda. Thank you very much.
ස්තුතියි වික්‍රමරාම මහතා.
Thank you.
අභිනන්දන උළෙලේ මීළඟ කර්තව්‍ය ලෙස
Now,
භාවනා වැඩසටහන නියැවීමට
next,
සහ
I
ආචාර්ය
invite
ඒ.ටී. ආරියරත්නයන්ට ආධ්‍යාත්මික වශයෙන් ආශිර්වාද කිරීමේ
to,
උතුම් පින්කමට ඇමරිකා එක්සත්
for the
ජනපදයේ
great
වෙස්ට්
purpose of
වර්ජීනියා
conveying
සංස්කෘතික
blessings
මාතෘ
to
සහ
this forum and
ප්‍රොෆෙසර්
to
කිපටි
convey
ජයසේකර
his
ත්‍රිසේන
blessings.
ග්‍රන්ථයේ කතුවර
I invite
අතිපූජ්‍ය
Venerable
මේනිරේනි
Tenepala Gunaratana Thero
නමස්කාර පූර්වකව ආරාධනා කර
respectfully.
සිටිනවා.
Thank you.
ගෞරවනීය මහා සංඝයා වහන්සේ ලෝකේ පුරා
Venerable members of the Buddhist clergy and all other representatives from other religions and friends who are gathered here from many different parts of the world. Actually, I can see a large number of people are gathered in this forum. Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne is somebody well known all over the world. And today, every country has given recognition to the great work that he has done. And the term Sarvodaya has become very popular. He coined this, he is the one who introduced this word to the entire world. If you look at Lord Buddha's words, you can see that you can equate this to a tree that has a lot of sap. So no matter where you tap in that on that tree, you can get sap from the tree. So it could be a younger person or an older person. You could go and tap into the tree and you can get the sap. Similarly, Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne, who presented the concept of Sarvodaya to the world, young, the old, the young, and people representing many different countries, they all have very good and very positive ideas about Sarvodaya. It is with good faith that he started it, and everybody speaks about Sarvodaya with great pleasure, great happiness, and much commendation. That is why it gives us great pleasure to hear this term Sarvodaya. So today marks 90th birthday of Dr. Ariyaratne. But the noble service that he commenced
සුසු
through
තැන්වලට
Sarvodaya will continue, and it will, he
විදිහට
has
ලෝකයේ පිරිසක්
continue the noble work, and so that the meaning of Sarvodaya can be properly conveyed to the entire world. This is a very unique task, very unique service that only Dr. Ariyaratne could do. That is why we have great respect for him. Although I have not had the pleasure to associate him very closely, I have had the pleasure of hearing about the great work that he has done. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to convey my blessings to him, like the Himalaya mountain, like which can be seen from even from afar. The great work that he has carried out can be witnessed by anybody. The Everest mountain can be viewed by people even who are very far away from it. Similarly, even though I may be far away from him, but I can see, I witness the great work that he has done. There are many great people, many youth who are doing a lot of good in this world, but they are not as well known as he is. But I know very well that Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne did not do all these things to get commendation or to become famous. He started all of these things with noble intentions. When you start something with noble intentions, it grows and it becomes more fruitful and it becomes useful to everyone around us. So that is why so many people are gathered here to commend him and to speak about him. So my small message uh, to this world regarding Dr. Ariyaratne is this. And because of COVID 19, it is not possible for us to physically be with him. And we are all staying away from. Staying in many different parts of the world, many different parts of the country. But today, we can see on this forum, thanks to COVID, so many people representing so many different countries are present here on this virtual forum. I think this shows his great fortune. It is all the outcome from the good intentions that he has had, the noble intentions that he has had throughout all his endeavors. A large number of people are gathered here. All their well wishes, blessings will be conveyed upon him. So he is younger to me by 3 years. He is turning 90 today, but he is a lot more famous than me. He has done a lot of work to this world. He has rendered immense service to this world. So I hope it could be doesn't 500 years or 50 years. My blessings are conveyed so that he can continue the good work that he does. May he have longevity and strength. May the triple gem bless him. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
ආචාර්ය ඒටි ආරියරත්නය සදිසනිකුණේ. ඔහු සර්වෝදය සමග පමණක් වූවෙක් නොවේ. සාහිත්‍ය,
Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne
සෞන්දර්ය,
is not somebody who limited his service to this concept of Sarvodaya. He has taken participated in many different aspects, including the arts, music. So now I invite Visharada Jakat Vikramasinghe to sing a song, the lyrics of which were written by Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne. I give to you Swabhava Shakti.
शक्ति सजीव शक्ति विश्व धर्म शक्ति मेत मुदिता गुण चित्त वेदरी स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु स्वभाव शक्ति सजीव शक्ति विश्व धर्म शक्ति मेत मुदिता गुण चित्त वेदरी स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु අහස පොළොව තිර සඳ තරු තුරුලිය දෙව් බඹ මිනිසුන් නගර සරින් අහස පොළොව තිර සඳ තරු තුරුලිය දෙව් බඹ මිනිසුන් නගර සරින් හද තුල එක්වී මහ සවියක් වී සාම කිරණ ජනනි ජනනි ස්වස්ති සිද්ධි ජයතු සිරිදලදා සිරි මහබෝරන් මැලි මාසෑමා සමිඳුන් සවියයි සිරිදලදා සිරි මහබෝරන් මැලි මහසෑමා සමිඳුන් සවියයි හදතුල එක්වී මහසවියක්වී සාමකිරණ ජනනි ජනනි ස්වස්ති සිද්ධි ජයතු स्वभाव शक्ति सजीव शक्ति विश्व धर्म शक्ति मेत मुदिता गुण चित्त वेदरी स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु महारामय किरिवेरद मे गुणगिरि हलु सै सवियय नागदीप कैलनिय सिरि समनल गिरिहिस सै सिरिपा सवियय हद तुल एक्वी महासवियक्ति साम किरण जननी जननी स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु स्वभाव शक्ति सजीव शक्ति विश्व धर्म शक्ति मेत मुदिता गुण चित्त वेदरी स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु स्वभाव शक्ति सजीव शक्ति विश्व धर्म शक्ति मेत मुदिता गुण चित्त वेदरी स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु जयतु स्वस्ति सिद्धि जयतु
ආචාර්ය ඒ.ටී. ආරියරත්න මැතිතුන්ගේ දශක 9ක ජීවන චරිතය සාරාංශගත කිරීම කිසිසේත් පහසු
I don't think it will be an easy task to summarize the milestones of the past 90 years of Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne's life. But Mr. Chaminda Rajakaruna has bravely taken over this responsibility. So now over to Mr. Rajakaruna to take 9 minutes to talk about the past 9 decades of Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne. Over to you, Mr. Chaminda Rajakaruna. Thank you. Thank you, Rajiva. Please give me a minute. Like Dr. Rajiv Menon mentioned, it is not an easy task. I want to thank everyone who had faith in me and handed over this responsibility to me. So, Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne celebrates his 90th birthday today. So, as we are gathered here to celebrate his these past 9 decades, let me tell you a little bit about his life. So, we were listening to Swabhava Shakti song, the song written by Dr. Ariyaratne. So in 1931, uh, Mr. Henrik Jinadasa and Mrs. Rosalina Gajadera had a son who was indeed full of Swabhava Shakti. So maybe they knew at that time that one day their son is going to go out into the world and make great strides. So the first 10 years of Dr. Aryaratna's life was spent at the primary school, Madakanda Buddhist Mixed School, and then Bonavista College, and later Mahinda College, Gaul. So although he was a young man, he was a bit different from the other young men. This is something that others noticed about him. So, little Aryaratna did not like to see how the poor people in the village were being exploited by certain tradesmen. So when he was about 14 or 15 years old, he started working with these people to empower them. I think he continued that throughout his life. He has always been sensitive to the people's suffering. In 1951, he was a member of the cricket team of the Mahinda College. And then I think a very beautiful time period of Dr. Aryaratna's life is in the 1950s and 60s, the third decade of his life. I think that's very important. On one hand, he started getting his teacher training at the Maharagama Teacher Training College, and then he started teaching. So these are the three important things that happened during the third decade of his life. So he got the job as a trainee teacher, and he started working at the Bonavista College, and then he started uh, to use this profession of teaching to uplift children, not only children, but the lives of their families as well. So in 1951, he went to the teacher training college in Maharagama, and there also he engaged in Shramadanas and all sorts of welfare activities with his fellow teacher trainees. Then a very important turning point takes place in his life when he is appointed as a teacher at the Nalanda College, Colombo. In 1958, he was appointed a teacher at the Nalanda College. And I must mention, in particular, Mr. Gunasinghe, the principal of Nalanda College, a very important character in Dr. Aryaratna's life. On behalf of Nalanda College, I want to mention his name as well. So so I believe that the what he gained from his experiences at Nalanda College really changed the way he looked at the world. And Delgahayata Gedara is the place where revolution began under the breadfruit tree. This is where the revolution began. Life was not easy. There are some negative forces. It is not easy to engage in a revolution. He faced many challenges while he was there. He could see while he was in the house under the breadfruit tree, he saw how some youth were getting bad influences and how they were walking down some wrong paths and negative paths. You might have heard of Choppe from Maradana, a well-known thug, wanted to teach a lesson to Mr. Ariyaratne. But Mr. Ariyaratne wanted to teach a good lesson to Choppe. And what did he do? He went to Choppe's house. He went to the house of this thug, and he went and he spoke with Choppe, and he explained things to Choppe, and this changed his life for as long as he lived. He protected Dr. Arya Ratna. And then I want to talk to you about Kanatolua village, a very important turning point Dr. Ariyaratne's life. In 1958, he visits the Kanatolua village where he carried out the first Shramadana camp at the Kanatalua village to support marginalized and excluded people. He got together with a group of students from Nalanda College as well as some teachers. The people in this village were excluded from society. But Mr. Aryaratna went there, he started living there, he started empowering them. Uh, and then social, so with the support from the, this is the, you can see here on this slide the very first poster that was published. So it was an international work camp project. The students and teachers went there, they were living with the villagers, they identified the needs of the villagers and provided services that empowered the villagers. So from Kanatolua, he went to Manava and then all over the island. He started this journey. So this journey, he went with getting so many people uh, together. He got very strong, highly educated, very passionate people together. They were inspired by his vision and they joined hands with him. So that is how he used the participatory approach to development at a very early age. So this journey he could not go on his own. So a very important a milestone took place in 1960 when he got married to Neeta Dhammachari. Neeta Dhammachari is a student from Museus College. She was a girl guide, a person who was very much in tune with the suffering of the people. So he selected Miss Neeta Dhammachari to share his life with, and I think a very beautiful and a beautiful family that sets a great example to the entire world. So the house under the breadfruit tree became very busy, and he wanted to find a better location to continue the good work. It was the house under the breadfruit tree was not spacious enough to do what he wanted to do. So this is where he moved to the Meth Madura in Moratua Ravatavat. This is a ancient old house about 250 years old. So, Mr. Merrile Fernando in 1970 donated Meth Madura in Moratua to continue the work of Sarvodaya. So, this was a very spacious place. More people could get together, planning could be conducted, more work could be conducted. The Shramadana movement was becoming more popular. A lot of training, a lot of empowerment programs could be carried out. Many crafts were trained, youth were trained in many crafts, communities were trained to engage in different industries. Now, we talk about gender and women's empowerment. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, Dr. Arya Ratna started empowering women, and he also empowered people with special needs. He incorporated all of them into his journey. He did not exclude any of these people. He did not. Now we talk about leaving no one behind. So Sarvodaya, throughout its entire journey, has never left anyone behind. Men, women, and children. people with different abilities, everybody, nobody was left behind. So, as Sarvodaya continued to move forward, I just I would like to say I actually added this photo also because I wanted to pay tribute to the many people who supported our programs. So, Sarvodaya continued to go from village to village, giving new meaning to the concept of development. Therefore, mobilization, teaching them how to use appropriate technologies, how to utilize innovation for development. Sarvodaya movement continued to teach people about these things. In 1967, Sarvodaya started this new program called the 100 Village Development Program. And then it expanded to 1,000 villages and then 5,000 villages. Little by little, world began recognizing the work of Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne. That is how in 1969 Ramon Magsaysay Award was awarded to Dr. Ariyaratne, and that is how recognition was given to Dr. Ariyaratne's vision of development. Then in his fifth decade, Sarvodaya was established under a parliamentary act, and then Sarvodaya Seeds, Sarvodaya Development Finance, Sarvodaya Trust Fund, Vishwaniketan, all of these institutions were established as the time continued. I want to mention Venerable Dhammakirti Thero as well, and also many different other branches of Sarvodaya started to were initiated. And then in 1978, Damsak Mandire was declared open. So now Sarvodaya had an even more spacious area to continue the training, education, and we were expanding not only within the country but also outside of the country. In a sixth decade, that is from 1982 to 1991, you know, in 1980s there were some uh, ethnic issues in Sri Lanka. So at that time, the focus was on peace. So to ease ethnic tension, a lot of activities were carried out. Peace marches, peace meditations were carried out with the participation of hundreds of thousands of people. So, with all that, in 1992, Japan awarded Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne Nimano Peace Prize. Also, Gramodaya, the upliftment of villages, was converted ultimately into Gammudava, which built houses to people in need. During the seventh decade of Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne's life, the country was divided with the issues that were cropping up in the northern parts of the country. But Sarvodaya Shanti Sena was able to get together youth from the north and the south and to engage in various activities to promote peace, religious harmony, and coexistence. The message of peace and tolerance was promoted through many different programs that were initiated under Dr. Arya Ratna. And with all that, so we, little by little, we were preparing our community to face different challenges that were cropping up. The eighth decade, from 2001 to 2011, you might remember the tsunami disaster and also the most difficult era of the ethnic conflict took place during that time. But during all this time, Dr. Arya Ratna worked hand in hand with many volunteers. People were losing their loved ones, and there were many difficulties that people had to face. But Sarvodaya continued its services in the north and in the south as well as without any difference. After the war, we thought, okay, now the war is over and we can relax, but that is not the case. There were many challenges for us to overcome after that. If we did not take necessary action to ensure non-recurrence of the war, it would have occurred again. So in 2008, when we celebrated our 50th uh, anniversary of Sarvodaya, we promoted for peace with over 50,000 people, and in 2011, we have now reached ninth decade. As you know, in post-war Sri Lanka, we wanted to promote lasting peace, and we wanted to focus on consciousness, economy, and power. So we started the social empowerment program so that we could create empowered citizens. We wanted to help our people uplift their economies. So Dr. Ariyaratne continued the great work he did through these different spheres. And he was appointed to the Constitutional Council of Sri Lanka after the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. I think he's the only person from this council member who was not leveled with any criticism from the public. So, as then Dr. Ariyaratne decided to hand over some responsibilities to the next generation, Dr. Ariyaratne, Dr. Charika Marasinghe, not only to his children but also to all of us. He continues to share a great love. He continues to guide us even today. He has met so many lil- pub, uh, heads of state. He has met scientists and many different uh, personalities. If you see the way Dr. Abdul Kalam greeted him, or the way that many other such personalities greeted him, you can see the respect. But nothing gave him more happiness than going out to the public and talking to the common people of the country. In 2006, he was given the highest award given in Sri Lanka to a citizen. So he is the father to our Sarvodaya family, a family like no other. So this is a photo of his family. Uh, so Lokku sir, uh, not only today, every day we look up to you. You are our teacher. We wish you longevity. We wish you strength, and we hope that we you can continue to enlighten the world. You have shown the path to so many people. We are very grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Rajakaruna. A very difficult task completed within 9 minutes. Thank you. Now it is time to convey birthday wishes and blessings to Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne. To do this, first of all, I would like to invite an old member of Sarvodaya and a close friend of Dr. Ariyaratne, the founding director of the training college, Mr. Piasoma Mendis.
මා ආරියරත්න නාමය මුලින්ම දැනගත්තේ 1958 වර්ෂයේදී. ඒ ඒටි ආරියරත්න කියන ගුරුතුමා නාලන්ද විද්‍යාලයේ සමාජ සේවා සංසදයේ විසුණුත් සමග කනතුළුව ග්‍රාමයට ගොස් කරපු සමාජ පරිවර්තන වැඩපිළිවෙල නිසා. මෙහිදී විශේෂයෙන් මා මතක් කරන්නට කැමැති සර්වෝදය කියන්නේ ආරියරත්න කියන්නේ දෙකක් නෙවෙයි. සර්වෝදයත් ආරියරත්නත් එකයි. එකම කාසියක වටිනාකමක් තියෙන දෙපැත්තක් වගේ ඒ නාමයන් දෙක අද අපේ ජාතියේ හදවතට ඇතුළත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. එනිසා මා මෙහිදී ඉතාමත් සන්තෝෂ වෙනවා මේ ආර්ය අයියට අවුරුදු 90ක් සම්පූර්ණ වන මේ අවස්ථාවේ මෙසේ පවසන්නට. එය පවසන්නේ මා අමාවතුරේ ගුරුගෝමින්ගේ කියමනක් ප්‍රයෝජනයට ගනිමින්. ගුරුගෝමින් අමාවතුර ගැන පොතේ අන්තිමේ මෙන්න මෙහෙම සඳහන් කරනවා. යාව තිට්ඨති සාරි යාව චන්දෝ විරෝචති තාව තිට්ඨතු ගන්තායන් පසාසෙන්ති මහාජනං කියලා. ඒ වගේ මා ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා ඉරහඳ පවතින තාක් මහා ශෛලයක් නොසැලී පවතිනාක් මෙන් ආර්යයාගේ නාමයත් සර්වෝදයත් සදා නොමැකී පවතිනවා. ආර්යයා, may your special day be just as special as you are. Happy 90th birthday. ආර්යයා අවුරුදු 90ක් සම්පූර්ණ වන මෙම අවස්ථාවේ ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාවේ සිටින සියලුම සර්වෝදය පිළිබඳව කැමැත්තක් දක්වන දැනගෙන තියෙන අය වෙනුවෙන්ද ඔබ ඉතා ගෞරවයෙන් අගය කරන තාමත් ජීවත්ව සිටින මාගේ ආදරණීය බිරිඳගේ අම්මා වන සිසිලි මල්සූරිය අම්මා කියපු විදිහට ඔබට තිරුවන් සරණයි. සුඛී දීර්ඝායුකෝ භව.
මීළඟට ඊශ්වරන් ප්‍රදේශ සමාගමේ අධ්‍යක්ෂ ගණේෂ් ඊශ්වරන් දේවනාගම මහතාට මහනුවර ප්‍රධාන
Next,
මෞලවි
Mr. Ganesh Ishwaran Devanayagam and Fasrul Rahman Maulavi will convey their blessings.
வேளபுகத்து விநாயகனை தொழ வாழ்வு மிகுந்து வரும் வெள்ளை கொம்பன் விநாயகனை தொழ துள்ளியோடும் தொடர்
So Mr. Ishwaran is starting with the prayer to the God Ganapati and seeking blessings.
இந்த விழா சிறப்பாக நடைபெற
So he is seeking the blessings of the Almighty God to be a successful event.
அது மட்டுமல்லாமல்
At the same time, by requesting, by honoring the religious dignitaries,
ஒரு சில வார்த்தைகளை
and I would like to speak a few words.
மறைந்த எனது தந்தை திரு ஈஸ்வரன் திரு
Let my father, Mr. Ishwaran, a very close friend was Mr. Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne.
வாடிய பயிரை கண்ட போதெல்லாம் வாடினேன்
When he saw all the stale plants, he was so much worried. This is how Valala stated. Whenever he sees the stale plants, of course, he has started lamenting. The same way, he also thought the sufferings of the people, those who are destitute, and he was ready to deliver his services, especially to render redress for those people. And he really an engineer who has started the concept and has a very exemplary character in the whole world. And of course, once again, I pray to the God to think of his on the felicitation of his birthday's time. Of course, Mr. Dr. Ariyaratne and his family was selfless people and were rendering the services. And he was main motive was to get engaged in the people's services. So all the divine speeches which highlighted the service-minded reputation. So this nobleman should be blessed, and they should also thrive, and they are his family members. Having stated this, I conclude my speech. Thank you.
මහනුවර ප්‍රධාන මෞලවි ෆස්රූල් මෞලවිතුමාට
Now, Chief Maulavi of Kandy, Fasrul Maulavi, will convey his blessings.
பிஸ்மில்லாஹிர் ரஹ்மானிர் ரஹீம். இன்றைய தினம் இந்த நாட்டிலே வாழ்ந்து கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு தேசப்பிதா மாண்பும் மரியாதை மிக்கவர்கள் சர்வோதய அமைப்பின் இஸ்தாபகர் டாக்டர் ஏடி ஆரியரத்ன அவர்கள் நாம் பார்க்கின்றோம் ஒரு குடும்ப தலைவர் என்றாலும் அந்த குடும்பத்துக்கு எப்படி இரக்கமும் அன்பும் இருக்கின்றதோ அதே போல அதைவிட அதிகமாக இந்த நாட்டு மக்களை அவர்கள் நேசிக்கக்கூடியவர்கள். தன்னுடைய பிள்ளை குட்டிகளுக்கு எந்த மரியாதையும் பாசமும் கொடுத்தார்களோ அதை விட அதிகமாக இந்த நாட்டு மக்களை நேசிக்கக்கூடியவர்கள். அவர்கள் ஒரு சிறந்த பௌத்த குடிமகனாக இருந்தாலும் கூட பௌத்த மதத்திற்கு அவர் என்ன கண்ணியத்தை கொடுத்தாரோ அதே போல இஸ்லாமிய மதத்துக்கும் கொடுத்தார், இந்து மதத்துக்கும் கொடுத்தார், கிறிஸ்துவ மதத்துக்கும் கொடுத்தார். எல்லா மத தலைவர்களோடும் அவர்கள் மிக சமூக நல்லிணக்கத்துக்காக வேண்டி அயராது பாடுபட்டவர் மாத்திரமல்ல, சர்வதேச மட்டத்தில் அங்கீகாரம் பெற்ற ஒரு தேசிய தலைவராக அவர் இன்றும் கணிக்கப்படுகின்றார். காரணம் என்னவென்று சொன்னால், பல நாடுகளிலே இருக்கக்கூடிய தலைவர்கள், ஜனாதிபதிமார்கள், பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர்மார்களோடு நெருக்கமான தொடர்புகளை வைத்து இந்த நாட்டுக்கு நிறைய உதவிகளை கொண்டு வந்தவர். இந்த நாட்டில் ஏற்படக்கூடிய எல்லா அனர்த்தமான கட்டங்கள், விசேஷமாக சொல்ல போனால் சுனாமியுடைய காலங்களில் எல்லாம் களமிறங்கி செயல்பட்டு இந்த நாட்டுக்காக வேண்டி கரம் கொடுத்த ஒரு தேசிய ஒரு தலைவராக நாங்கள் அவர்களை பார்க்கின்றோம். எல்லா மத தலைவர்களோடும் அவர்கள் சிறந்த ஒரு பயணத்தை சென்றிருக்கின்றார்கள். இலங்கையிலே மிகவும் பிரசித்தி வாய்ந்த கந்த உடரட்ட என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய இந்த மண்ணிலே அவர்கள் எல்லா மத தலைவர்களோடும் நீண்ட பயணங்கள் சென்ற நேரத்தில் நாமும் ஒருவர் என்ற வகையில் இந்த நாட்டு மக்களுடைய சகவாழ்வுக்காக வேண்டி நாம் கண்டியிலே இருந்து அவர்களோடு மிகவும் சிறந்த சேவைகளை செய்திருக்கின்றோம். அவர்களுக்கு நீண்ட ஆயுளும் நல்ல சுகத்தையும் இறைவன் கொடுப்பானாக என்று வேண்டி விரும்பி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි සියලුම දෙනාට. අද
Thank you very much. Today, on this August day, we will now go to the very auspicious event of launching the trilingual website for the Vishwaniketan Institute. The Vishwaniketan message can be conveyed to the humankind through this. Thank you.
අද මේ සුන්දර දවසේ
On this very special evening, we will be launching 3 books. Firstly, let us invite Dr. Venerable Kukulpane Sudasitero's volume called Prajnaven Viyapatvima, Becoming Older Eruditely, will be launched.
பிஸ்மில்லாஹிர் ரஹ்மானிர் ரஹீம். இன்றைய தினம் இந்த நாட்டிலே வாழ்ந்து கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய
මනුෂ්‍ය ජීවිතයක් වසර 100ක් ගත කළත් ජීවිතය සහ ලෝකය පිළිබඳව ප්‍රඥාවෙන් නොදකිනවා නම් ඒ ජීවිතය තරම් උසස් ජීවිතයක් හැටියට ධර්මානුකූලව සැලකෙන්නේ නැහැ. යම් කෙනෙක් එක් දිනක් ජීවත්ව මිය ගියත් ජීවිතය සහ ලෝකය පිළිබඳව ප්‍රඥාවෙන් දකින්නට සමත් වෙනවා නම් ඒ ගත කරන එක් දිනය හෝ තමන්ගේත් අනුන්ගේත් යහපත පිණිස යොදවන්නට සමත් වෙනවා නම් ඒ මනුෂ්‍ය ජීවිතය ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨ මනුෂ්‍ය ජීවිතයක් බවයි බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ දේශනා කරා. යම්කිසි කෙනෙක් මව් කුස පිළිසිඳගත්යන් පටන් අනුක්‍රමයෙන් මේ සමාජයට දරුවෙක් හැටියට බිහි වෙලා දින සති මාස වසර වශයෙන් තමන්ගේ ජීවිතේ මරණයත් එක් පවත්වාගෙන යන කාල සීමාව තුළ කායික වශයෙන් වියපත් වෙනවාseම ප්‍රඥාවෙන් වියපත් වෙමි. ජීවිතය සහ ලෝකයේ පිළිබඳව අවබෝධ කරගන්නේ කෙසේද? ඒ ගත කරන ආයු කාලය තමන්ගේ අනුන්ගේ යහපත පිණිස ප්‍රඥාවෙන් පවත්වන්නේ කවර ආකාරයෙන්ද කියන මේ පුළුල් මාතෘකාවයි ප්‍රඥාවෙන් වියපත් වීම නැමැති ග්‍රන්ථයෙන් අපි පැහැදිලි කරන්නට උත්සාහ කරන්නේ. මූලික වශයෙන් ප්‍රඥාව කියන්නේ කුමක්ද කියලා පළමු පරිච්ඡේදයෙන් හැඳින්වීමක් කරලා ඉන් අනතුරුව කලල වියේ පටන් මරණාසන්න මොහොත දක්වාම අනුක්‍රමයෙන් කායික වියපත් වීමට සමගාමීව ප්‍රඥාවෙන් වියපත් වෙන ආකාරයයි ධර්මානුකූලව මේ ග්‍රන්ථය තුලින් පැහැදිලි කරන්නේ.
මීළඟට ආචාර්ය A.T. ආරියරත්න
Autobiography of Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne will be launched. This is the 5th volume of the autobiography of Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne.
රෝදේ නිර්මාතෘ A.T. ආරියරත්න මැතිතුමාගේ 90 වෙනි ජන්මදිනය වෙනුවෙන් නිකුත් කරන 5 වෙනි චරිත ග්‍රන්ථය මා වෙත පිරිනැමීම ගැන මම ඉතාම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. ඒකට සන්තෝෂ වේ හැකි කරුණු ගණනක්ම තියෙනවා. එකක් 1958 මා අනුරාධපුරයේ සේවය කරන කාලෙහි ආරියරත්න මැතිතුමා පොසොන් සමයේ අනුරාධපුර නගරයේ සුද්ධ පවිත්‍ර කිරීමට ශ්‍රමදායක පිරිසක් සමග අවස්ථාවේදී මගෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් කළා කතාවක් පවත්වන්න අනුරාධපුරය ගැන. ඒ කතාවට පස්සේ තව කතාවටත් ආරාධනා කරලා ඊට පස්සේ එතුමා කිව්වා මම සර්වෝදයට බැඳුනොත් ඉතාම හොඳයි කියලා මට ඉල්ලීමේ ඉල්ලුම් පත්‍රයක් දුන්නා. එදා ඉඳලා අද වෙනකන් සර්වෝදේ ඉතාම වැදගත් කාරණා මෙන්ම සාමාන්‍ය කරුණු වලටත් දේශ විදේශ වල කටයුතු වලටත් මම සහභාගී වුණා. ආරියරත්න මැතිතුමා ඒ සියල්ලම අගය කරනවා. මමත් ඒවට ස්තුතිවන්තව අගය කරනවා. මම 1967 දී ගීතයක් ලිව්වා අනුරාධපුරයේ ඉන්න මන්නාරමේ ඉන්න කාලේ ආරියරත්න මහත්මයාට මගේ සැලකිල්ල බැඳීම දිගටම තියෙනවා කියලා මේ එතුමාගේ සසර මේ සඳහා එක්වමින් ඒ නිසා අද මට ඉතාම සන්තෝෂයි කෘතඥතාවෙන් සිහි කරනවා අපේ ආරියරත්න මහත්මයාගේ විශිෂ්ට සේවය ලෝකයට සහ රට ජාතීන් සියලු දෙනාටම එතුමාට දීර්ඝායුෂ පතනවා හොඳ සෞඛ්‍ය පතනවා ප්‍රීතිය හා සාමය මෙයින් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
අද දිනේ දොරට වැඩම සිදු වූ
And now we move on to launching of the third book that is going to be launched today. This is titled Sarvodaya Ahinsaka Viplavaya, or the Non-Violent Revolution of Sarvodaya, written by the veteran journalist Tissa Jayawardena. Launching the book now.
දැන් මම ආරාධනා කර සිටින්නේ
Now, I respectfully invite the current chair of Sarvodaya movement, consultant physician Dr. Vinya Ariyaratne, to address this gathering. Ayubovan. Today, as we celebrate the 90th birthday of Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne, I thank the venerable members of the Buddhist clergy, Hindu, Islam, Christian clergy, and friends and well-wishers who are present here. The organizers of this event asked me to share some experiences about this, my experiences of leadership in the Sarvodaya movement, and also the intergenerational leadership, the lessons learned and future. That is going to be the topic of my speech today. Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne started the Sarvodaya movement in 1958 at the Kanatoluwa village. For the past 60 years, several generations of individuals have dedicated their lives to create this awakening among all of us. Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne commenced this journey. Before him, there was another generation, a principal of Nalanda College, Mr. Karunaratne, and there were several others from the earlier generation. And then once the Sarvodaya movement was started, a large number of youth gathered around Dr. Ariyaratne. So the concept of intergenerational leadership started at the very beginning. So very practically, the concept of intergenerational leadership was practiced in the movement with a very clear vision. Back in the day, there was one generation, and then about 2 or 3 generations worked together to achieve the milestones we have achieved. Then from 1960 to 80, you have another generation that was born, And then from 1980 to 2000, you have another generation. From 2000 onwards, a third generation. You can call them X, Y, Z, and millennials. So all these different generations within the Sarvodaya movement, actually about 1,200 people are employed, 200 or 300,000 people work as volunteers, and all of them are all connected through the Sarvodaya philosophy, the philosophy that is based on Buddhism, Gandhi's philosophy, and the philosophies of many significant religions of the world. So today, all of these people are working together to achieve one objective. So, intergenerational leadership means getting together the potential and the skills and abilities of many different generations. The generations before the year 2000 are not that savvy in technology, but the generation after 2000 are very much savvy in technology. So Dr. Ariyaratne promoted the use of technology to uplift and empower the villagers since 1960s. So with the guidance of that older generation, the younger generation has now, after us, over two more generations are contributing to this mammoth task. So we believe that if we want to uplift this world, we want to, oh, there is an echo. uh, we need to uplift and awaken the conscience of uh, everyone who are part of this. So it is with intergenerational leadership that we can create this world that we want to create. So today, as Dr. Ariyaratne celebrates his 90th birthday, I want to thank all of you who are present here for your contribution from Sri Lanka and from many parts of the world. As the chair of the Sarvodaya Shramadana movement, my heartfelt gratitude is conveyed to you, and I want to express that let us all join hands to awaken all of us and create Deshodaya and Vishwodaya awakening of among all of us. May the triple gem bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ariyaratne. Well, now talking about Sarvodaya, it has been a long journey. It has been a long journey which has come through lots of rough patches, smooth areas during the war, during the civil war, and Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne has been able to bring it up to this level. So now it is, as Dr. Vinya told, now it is the time is up for the next generation to take it over. So we will be shifting our program into that level. So therefore, now we will be giving a small session to get some blessings from around the world. For this, we have some eminent personalities connecting with us. Firstly, we have Mrs. Ila Gandhi, who is connecting to us from South Africa. So Mrs. Gandhi, as the granddaughter of Mahatma Gandhi, has been a great admirer of Dr. Ariyaratne's work. Under her leadership, Dr. Ariyaratne was honored with the Mahatma Gandhi International Award for Peace and Reconciliation in 2006. So Mrs. Ila Gandhi, this is your opportunity to do your blessings.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Program Director, Dr. Charika Mara Singh, and other members of the Ariyaratne family and friends. It is with great pleasure, and I consider this a singular honor to be given this opportunity to felicitate Dr. Ariyaratne on his 90th birthday. Let me say I wish him all the best and many, many more birthdays to come. Indeed, his life is a life worth celebrating, a life of inspiration and admiration. In 2006, as you have mentioned, the Gandhi Development Trust recognized the important work that Dr. Ariyaratne was doing and nominated him for the Mahatma Gandhi International Award. Now, Gandhiji is known for his political work against colonial rule in India, but the work that he has done in respect of the the program of action, for instance, is not that well known. And so this Sarvodaya movement is about that work of program of action that Dr. Ariyaratne started as the Sarvodaya movement. The number of people he has been able to reach during this time is miraculous. The number of different areas of work ranging from provision of housing to healthcare to child and family care and leadership development work is a tremendous example of the holistic work for the good of all that Gandhiji spoke about when he talked about Sarvodaya. The quiet, gentle manner in which Dr. Ariyaratne carries out this work and has been able to achieve so much is indeed a tribute to his tremendous capacity, energy, and resilience. He has been able to so effectively balance between the needs of the masses and the government during the most turbulent years in the history of this country, of Sri Lanka. May your life, dear elder brother, Dr. Ariyaratne, be an inspiration to the generations to come. I thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Ila Gandhi. Thank you for joining us from South Africa. Our next speaker, who will be delivering the keynote speech at this occasion, is someone special. Dr. Dan Siegel, who is connecting to us from the United States of America. Dr. Siegel is the executive director of Mindsight Institute and also a clinical professor of psychiatry at UCLA School of Medicine. He is the founding co-director of Mindful Awareness Research Center at UCLA and the author of many books about the mind. Dr. Dan Siegel, this invitation is to you to deliver the keynote speech.
Thank you so much for inviting me to celebrate the 90th birthday of the founder of the Sarvodaya movement. I am so honored to be here with you. It is a pleasure to talk about aging and mental health and how we develop what we will talk about in this presentation of integration. I think the way in which health is brought to the world by the movement is exemplified in how we live our lives from the inside, bringing a focus of attention, an open awareness, and a kind intention into our world. Now, those three pillars of the way of cultivating a healthy mind are ways that we've actually studied in science how many benefits come. One of the benefits to begin with is that when we develop our attention, we can show that the ability to focus in on a particular chosen object of attention, say the breath or the sensation of the body, or even attention to global well-being. When we focus attention, what happens is we're learning to train networks in our brain to focus in, and then also when we get distracted, to notice the distraction, and then to bring our attention back. The second pillar of this training is to open awareness. So attention allows us to stream energy and information flow in a specific way, opening awareness allows us to realize that while we may have a body, the self is actually bigger than the body, broader than the brain. The experience of our subjective feeling, yes, has an internal aspect to it, but it also has this open aspect where we realize the suffering of others is our suffering. The suffering of the planet is our suffering. And this opening of awareness opens the heart, it opens the head, it opens all of us to expand a sense of self. And this experience then of opening awareness shifts our perspective and even the agency we have, as in the movement, to bring well-being out into the world. The third pillar is the cultivation of kind intention, of compassion, of loving kindness. This is an ancient practice in many traditions. You see this in not only contemplative practices, but in the wisdom of indigenous teachings, that kindness in many ways is how we bring integration to the world. Integration is differentiating, allowing things to be different or specialized, and then linking. Now, kindness and compassion, when they're made visible, is really integration spreading through the world. When you do research on these three practices, the practice of focused attention, number one, opening awareness, number two, and cultivating kind intention, number three, there are several changes that I'm going to list for you here that when you hear them, you may think, well, ancient traditions have known this for a long time, and I think that's true. And science is just catching up with the discoveries that what we do with our mind transforms literally the structure of our brain and the molecules of health of our body, in addition to changing how we sense what the self is, expanding our identity and broadening our belonging. Let's begin with some of the changes that have been documented for the molecules of health. The first is that the molecule cortisol, the hormone that mediates stress, is decreased. So the first positive physiological change of doing these three pillar practices is to reduce stress. And over time, the cortisol hormone can be very destructive if it's continuing to be high in our bodies. So stress reduction is very important. Number two, the body has an immune system that fights infection. And these three pillar practices, focused attention, open awareness, kind intention cultivation, these actually strengthen the immune system. So especially during a pandemic, but in general, having an enhanced immune system is very, very important. Number three is that you actually improve the health of your heart. And we do this by making the heart communicate with the head in a more integrated way. There's a brake and an accelerator that connect the two, and you balance them more effectively. But also, if you have high blood pressure, you can lower it. And if you have high cholesterol, you can lower that too. So cardiovascular health is improved. Number four is that when you train your mind with this three pillar practice, which is found in mindfulness practices, and some people would call it mindfulness and compassion practice. To be very specific, we're calling it three pillar practice just to name what we mean: focused attention, open awareness, kindness. And as we cultivate these, the fourth finding is that with your mind, you're actually changing the molecules that sit on top of specific genes on your chromosomes. So these are not DNA molecules, these are non-DNA molecules that regulate how genes express themselves. And the outcome for this epigenetic change is what it's called, is to reduce inflammation. And we now know, and in my training in medical school, we didn't know it back years ago, but now we know that inflammation can be a fundamental cause of life-threatening illnesses, including some forms of diabetes and some forms of cancer. So to reduce inflammation is very important. And that's what three-pillar practice does. The fifth physiological change to help the aging person grow and also to help anyone develop health is the optimization of an enzyme that has the name telomerase. And this enzyme, telomerase, repairs and maintains the ends of the chromosomes. What this means is that as we're stressed in life and as we're aging, the tips of the chromosomes, analogous to the tip on a shoelace, when the tip of a shoelace is whittled down, you can't put it through the little holes in the shoe to tie your shoe. The same thing is true with the chromosomes. When the tips are worn down with stress and with aging, then the cell's capacity to reproduce and to function is compromised. The cell of our body gets sick, the organs and systems of our body get sick, we age, and we die. Optimizing telomerase means that we're maintaining and even repairing the ends of our chromosomes. So this, along with the other findings, is why the Nobel Prize winner Elizabeth Blackburn and her colleague Alyssa Epel have written in a wonderful book called The Telomere Effect that three-pillar practice, this way of cultivating our minds, actually slows the aging process. The way we measure aging can be reversed to a certain degree and slow down when we train our mind in these ways. Now, I mentioned there was one other finding about the brain, and we'll conclude with this, that when you look at all the research on the brain in our head and how it's connected to the whole body, what we find is that the more the brain can differentiate or allow to be specialized or unique, the different aspects of the brain. But then in addition to differentiation, we link those parts together. That process of linking differentiated parts, we're just going to name with the word integration. It turns out that an integrated brain, when differentiated parts are linked, allows for the most resilient way of living. And in fact, when you do studies of meditation that are about universal love and universal compassion, we see signs of the most integration in the brain that we've ever seen. So an integrated brain is a healthy person. An integrated brain is what we want to maintain as we age. And an integrated brain allows us to regulate our emotions, our mood, our attention, our thinking, our self-understanding, our morality, and the way we behave in the world. So what I'll conclude with is that integration is what the three-pillar practice allows you to do, to use your mind to intentionally focus attention, open awareness, and build kindness in your life. And as you do this with your mind, you have these 5 physiological changes of health, so you age well, and you integrate the brain, literally, not only the function, but the structure of the brain is changed based on what you do with your mind. And I'll conclude by saying that as we face this pandemic and the many other pandemics that are in our world of social injustice, of misinformation, and of environmental destruction, if we integrate the self by saying, yes, we have an interior me that's very important, but we also have a relational we. In English, and I would love to know in all the languages in the world, what an integrated self would be. In English, we would say it's me plus we equals MWE, M-W-E. And MWE thanks you for the honor of being here on this wonderful occasion. Happy birthday and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dan Siegel, for your words of wisdom. Sri Lanka is known for its rich heritage and an agricultural-based livelihood since ancient times. Next, we shall listen to a song penned by Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne about the prosperous agricultural history of Sri Lanka, now sung by Chiranjay Prasad and Visharada Chamika Malchani, the Dhanyagara song. That was the Dhanyagara song penned by Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne. Now, to continue with the blessings from around the world, we have with us, joining from the United States of America, Mrs. Jacqueline Bennett. Mrs. Bennett is the CEO of Bennett and Company and is a Buddhist philanthropist. She has been a strong supporter of Sarvodaya and Vishwaniketan for over 4 decades. She was one of the main benefactors of establishing Vishwaniketan. She has helped Sarvodaya in providing relief to hundreds and thousands of people during natural and man-made disasters. Mrs. Jacqueline Bennett, this opportunity is for you.
tell me when.
Go ahead. Have a seat. No, just look at sit down. Yes.
Happy birthday, Dr. Ariyaratne. I am so incredibly grateful that today is your birthday and you've
Here's somebody giving a lecture with a dog.
I'm sorry. I am so grateful for your presence in my life. When we met back in the 1980s, we were magnets for each other, magnets of love and gratitude, of peace, and putting peace into action. You were my inspiration while I was living in Asia from the 80s onward until this very moment. You're with me in my heart, the deepest part of my heart. You've helped me to continue the work that I was doing in the United States, but on a much, much deeper level and a more authentic level. You're one of the most important human beings in my entire life. You've been my teacher, my mentor, my father, my brother, my friend, my guiding inspiration. Through all of these years, I love you so deeply, and I love your family. Everybody that comes to your touch is are the most beautiful people and have been my family. Your family is my family and always has been. And my gratitude is beyond. It's as wide as this world, as far and deep as our planet. I love you so, so very much. All of the projects that we have worked on together, creating Vishnunikatan and so many other things that have helped human beings with suffering in their lives. To do that, to take and help so many people. So there are so many people that say wonderful things and all of the things that can be done, but you put everything into action. You're a crusader of peace. You're an inspiration and a guiding light for not only me, but hundreds of thousands of human beings. And I love you so deeply, and I'm so incredibly grateful for your presence on this planet. And I beg of you to please stay here and know how much we all love you. My gratitude is immense, and thank you so much. I love you. I hug you, my dear brother, and I bow at your feet. And I love you so very, very much. Thank you for being in my life, and thank you for being a presence in my life and the lives of hundreds of thousands of human beings that you have touched in this world. Bless you, dear Dr. Ariyaratne, and your wonderful wife, Nita, and Charika, and all the people, Sadiva, and Nimna, everybody that you have touched. Your family is an inspirational family, and Sarvodia is a model for peace in our world. And may we open our eyes, may our world open their eyes and their heart to everything that you have done in this world. It's replicable. The model that you've created is replicable and needs to spread. And your words and inspiration, if only we could just spread it further. And I hope and pray that this webinar will spread your word and your action. You, again, are a living saint in my life. You're my mentor, my inspiration, and I love you with all my heart and soul. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Bennett.
Thank you.
Now, connecting from USA, we have Dr. Michael Beckwith. Dr. Beckwith is the founder and spiritual director of the Agape International Spiritual Center. He too has been a great friend of Dr. Ariyaratne for more than 3 decades and has invited Dr. Ariyaratne to speak to the members of the Agape community in the United States. Dr. Beckwith.
Hello to you all, and to you, Dr. Ari. On this 90th birthday, may blessings shower over you like a Dharma rain. May the many and rare gifts that is this your life has given to our world be for you an ongoing comfort and peace. May the practice of Shramadana and of Sarvodaya reveal their power as goals and purposes for humanity in the dark times ahead. May your love for all beings keep on shining, and the flame of bodhicitta ignite in countless other hearts as well. These are my Joanna's prayers for you.
Thank you very much, Professor Joanna Macy. That was Professor Joanna Macy joining us from the United States. Professor Macy is an environment activist, author, and a scholar of Buddhism. She lived in Sarvodaya village in the 1970s for 1 year and studied the movement and its philosophy, and wrote the book Dhamma and Development, the Sarvodaya Development Model. Thank you very much, Professor Joanna Macy. Next, as I introduced earlier, I call upon Dr. Michael Beckwith, the founder and spiritual director of the Agape International Spiritual Center, to shed his blessings.
It is absolutely my joy, my honor to have the opportunity to embrace A.T. Ariyaratne for 90 years of circling the sun and absolutely showing what one life can do. The millions of individuals that he has touched and his movement that he founded shifted the noosphere of the planet and injected more compassion and more love and more social justice in a way that his wake of his legacy will continue to change lives for years and years and years to come. It's an honor for me to be with him. I remember moments of him being in Los Angeles with me and speaking at Agape and having dinner. I remember moments of being with him in Sri Lanka and participating in the 1 million person meditation and staying with him and learning more and more and more about the Sarvodaya movement. And he and the movement has been an inspiration to me in the Agape movement. So on this 90th rotation around the sun, I offer this prayer. We turn within in this moment, and we give thanks to the great God of the universe called by many names, that which we are living, moving, and having our beingness in, that which surrounds us, that which is our very life and being. From the sense of gratitude, the perceptual windows are cleansed and cleared, and I have the opportunity to realize my oneness with life and love and compassion, and to embrace our brother, A.T. Ariyaratne, for great gratitude for his life. I speak the word for him and his continuity of the great work that he has established. I speak the word for the Sarvodaya movement, knowing that it's just getting started in the ways that this legacy will continue to transform lives. I speak the word for my dear brother, A.T., knowing that right where he is, the full presence of love and compassion and beauty, dynamic wholeness and well-being reigns supreme. And indeed, his life continues to be and will ever be a shining example of what's possible when one does not resign themselves to business as usual in circumstances as they are, but captures a vision of what's possible and walks in that direction. For he has proven and is a living testimony of a individual who holds a vision and walks in that direction, makes a mighty difference. For we all know vision without action is a fantasy, but action without vision is chaos. We embrace the compassionate, loving vision of AD.
Talk too much.
Amen. 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 God bless you. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Beckwith, for joining us all the way from the United States of America. Next, I take the opportunity to introduce our guest speaker for the day, a distinguished old Nalandian, Dr. Sarath Gunapala. Dr. Ariyaratne was Dr. Gunapala's teacher, class teacher, in fact, in grade 9, and also was his Sinhala language teacher in grades 9 and 10. Now, Dr. Gunapala is a solid state and the director of the Center for Infrared Photo Detectors at NASA. This invitation is to you, Dr. Gunapala, to address the participants.
Can you hear me? Hello? I just want to check. Okay, great. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are on the globe. It is my great pleasure and privilege to deliver the guest speech at this felicitous celebratory day to a great and honorable person who developed rural Sri Lanka with self-sacrifice and shaped a great movement based on Gandhian principles of nonviolence and Buddhist ideals of selfness and compassion. He received numerous international recognitions, including the prestigious Hubert H. Humphrey International Humanitarian Award, Raman Magsaysay Award, and the Gandhi Peace Prize from the Government of India, just to name a few. I would like to thank Dr. Mrs. Charika Marasinghe and the organizing committee of this felicitation ceremony for giving me an opportunity to felicitate Sri Lanka Abhimanya, Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne, the founder and the president of the Sarvodaya Shramadana movement. As I heard in school days, Dr. Ariyaratne initiated the formulation work on Sarvodaya Shramadana movement in 1958, when he took 40 students and 12 teachers from the Nalanda College in Colombo on an educational experiment to an outcasted village in Sri Lanka and helped the villagers fix it up. I'm sure that he had a rough time at the beginning in starting these kind of movements. I got to know Dr. Ariyaratne in late 60s, almost 50 years ago, when I entered grade 9 at the Nalanda College in Colombo. There he served as my class teacher and Sinhala language teacher, and again at grade 10 as a Sinhala language teacher. Certainly he stood up tall against many other educators. He was always confident, calm, pleasant, very caring type person, dressed in white, and always delivered a clear message in a soft voice. The most enjoyable part for me was the detailed descriptions and portrayals of his international tours. He was our window to the world in those days. He used to describe his travel experiences, various cultures, and so many fascinating things about the world which we didn't know. Of course, with the spin of voluntarism to help those who need help, and the eminent philosopher Vinoba Bhave's Gramodaya movement to recreate agricultural rural India through a comprehensive economic rejuvenation and people's participation. He taught us so much about the world, geopolitics, socioeconomics, fairness, ethics, diversity, and everything that I can think of, in addition to the Sinhala language. It tremendously helped us to be aware of the world and be good citizens of the world, which we are so grateful and in-depth for Dr. Ariyaratne. I also remember the day I received my O-level results, which was read by a teacher. I met Dr. Ariyaratne as soon as I came out from the crowd of a student who gathered to hear their results. He asked me about my results and shook my hand and congratulated. I was so shy and afraid to shake a hand of a teacher because it wasn't customary between teachers and a student in that day and age. That was a great moment in my life, and I still remember like today, and it undoubtedly boosted my self-esteem and catapulted me into the optimistic world and came up with colors. So later day in mid-90s, my wife Wajira and I got this rare and great opportunity to host Dr. and Mrs. Ariyaratne at my residence in Los Angeles. The next day, I took them to the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, where I work as a senior research scientist exploring the solar system and beyond using robotic spacecrafts. I was so privileged to have one of my favorite teachers and his wife witness what we do every day. Of course, I got to that with the great guidance of teachers like Dr. Ariyaratne. I still remember, and I still in debt for him, for those great guidance to shape my life. Not only me, like that, he helped thousands of students to be great citizens of the world. I would like to share many great moments like that and go down on the memory lane, but that's for another day. This is not the time for it due to the limited time of this global event. Not only the village development activities, he embraced the science and technology as well. It is clearly evident from his one of his quotes, within quotes I'm reading, "Now the time has come when science and technology on one hand and the spiritual wisdom on the other have to be synthesized on a global scale to build a nobler, more just, and more peaceful global community." What a wonderful statement, so beautiful. It is needless to say that Dr. Ariyaratne spearheaded the development of rural Sri Lanka with self-sacrifice and shaped the great Sarvodaya movement based on Gandhian principles of nonviolence and Buddhist ideals of selfness and compassion. He brought enormous worldwide recognition, pride, and honor to Sri Lanka. Of course, beside the fact that he helped boosted the lifestyles of many thousands of Sri Lankans, perhaps millions. Today, Dr. Ariyaratne has reached a precious milestone of his noble journey. Dear sir, it is a great honor to be one of your students and know you. It's a privilege and honor. On this felicitous day, I wish Sri Lanka Abhimanya, Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne, the founder and president of the Sarvodaya Shramadana movement, all the best and many more returns of precious milestone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sarath Gunapala. Next, to continue with the blessings from around the world, we are joined by Professor John Kabat-Zinn from the United States of America. Professor John is a scientist, a writer, and a meditation teacher, internationally known for his work in bringing mindfulness practices, especially mindfulness-based stress reduction, into the mainstream of medicine, healthcare and society. He's a professor of medicine emeritus at the University of Massachusetts Medical School, where he founded the Center for Mindfulness in Medicine, Healthcare, and Society in 1995. Professor, this opportunity is for you.
This is John Kabat-Zinn on November 4th from the East Coast of the United States and Western Massachusetts, calling in to wish Dr. Ariyaratne a very, very happy 90th birthday. I have never had the pleasure of meeting you, sir, but I have had the pleasure of meeting your daughter and several of your grandchildren. And I go way back with Jacqueline Bennett, and so I've heard of you for maybe 30 years or more. And I'm very sad that I've never, so far at least, made it to your wonderful center and had the kind of direct experience of your work in Sri Lanka. But as one of the people who is scheduled to give one of these talks in the String of Pearls, I just wanted to express my very, very happy birthday wishes to you on your 90th birthday tomorrow, November 5th. So just sending all the best in every way and wishing you every success in going forward in terms of your Dharma work, which has set, I think, a standard that will be felt and continue having impact for decades to come and generations to come, hopefully. So a deep bow to you, sir. Happy birthday and all best wishes. My schedule is such that I'm unable to join you live tomorrow in person, which is why I am sending you this video message now, and I look forward to joining you later on for one of the talks in the series. So great to be with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Zinn. Now it's time for the most important person of this occasion, Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne, to address everyone joining from around the world.
Can't see you and muted, then camera is off.
Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne has been having a very long day today. He has been up and about from morning. There were religious ceremonies that were happening from morning at this center, and currently it is almost 8 in the evening in Sri Lanka, where Dr. Ariyaratne has been very tired indeed, for participating in many religious observances, book launches, and also the website launch in all 3 languages. So here we have with us Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne, whom all of us are felicitating and wishing him more health and to address everybody who are connected from around the world. Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne, this is for you.
Thank you very much for all the good things you have spoken about me. I'm not going to make a long speech. I always believe that every human being should extend boundless loving kindness to all other human beings, all other living beings, and even to the nature. When you have that loving kindness developed, you get a fresh energy. That energy makes you see the poor people, people who suffer, people who are mentally poor, not only physically and otherwise. So you feel like helping. And once you begin to help, there is no end. So I think I may have done this for 75, 85 years from my school days. So I'm an extremely happy person. I'm only sad that physically I'm very weak now, so I'm not able to do that same service. But still I can see that my children and grandchildren and friends and volunteers are doing so much for the world. And whenever I can, I try to advise them, give them new ideas, and mentally I'm okay. So I wish all of you who contributed to this program for the last maybe nearly 2 hours. I thank all of you for appreciating the work I have been doing, and I admire all of you for accepting that I have done some good for the world, but there's a lot of other things to be done, and as long as I live, I'll continue to have the same loving kindness, serving, vanity, and then trying to advance my own spiritual life. Thank you all very much. May you be blessed by the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and all the gods. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ariyaratne, if we can have a few words in Sinhala as well to everybody who is connecting from all over the world. A few words in Sinhalese.
Okay?
Venerable members of the Buddhist clergy and members of clergy from other religions who are present, allow me to speak a few words in Sinhala as well. From the very outset of my life, loving kindness has played a very important role. Loving kindness towards the humankind and other living beings, as well as the nature, has played a vital role in my life. And I believe, and I have practiced this throughout my life. Through this, I could see that uh, I could identify, or I could see the suffering of humans. I could see the suffering in other living beings and nature. And I empathized with them and I wanted to help them. So for about 75 years now, I have been doing that. So this has made me a happy person. Today, I think today I have been able to continue to sacrifice what I have without without a sense of without retaining them for myself. So right now I am little by my physically I am not so abled, but I can see so many others in members of my family and other volunteers continuing the work that I did. So I will continue to keep serving humankind for as long as I live. May the triple gem bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Ariyaratne. We wish you long life Now we are moving towards the conclusion of our session. Before the conclusion, I would like to very respectfully invite Venerable Kuppiyavatte Bodhananda Thero to convey blessings.
මේ උතුම් අවස්ථාවට සහ සම්බන්ධ වන අතිපූජ්‍ය මහානායක මාහිමිපාණන් වහන්සේ
Members of the
පූජනීය මහා
Buddhist
සංඝරත්නයන්
clergy,
අවසරයි. විශ්වයේ පිනෙන් උපත අද වැනි දිනක උපත ලද අපේ ආචාර්ය
on a day like today, on a day like today, 90 years ago, Mr. A.T. Ariyaratne was born.
1931
On 1931, on 5th of November 1931, Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne was born, and for the past 90 years, he has been serving humankind from the unborn children to the elderly. His service has expanded to so many humans all over the world. Through donation, through policy formulation, through action, and through his commitment and dedication, he has served humankind. He has sacrificed his wealth, his time, his knowledge, and his spirituality to continue serving people in need. Not only people who are in fear, who are in suffering. Dr. Ariyaratne, you have helped so many people. You have spoken up on behalf of peace. You have advocated for peace and reconciliation. So the merit of all of these uh, activities and the merit of all these actions will be your blessing, Dr. Ariyaratne. The merit from alleviating the suffering of thousands of people. May this bring you longevity in life. I would like to convey blessings to you every year all over the island. Many religious activities are carried out to bless you and to be grateful to you. Similarly, this year too, so many activities are being carried out. Construction of houses, supplying water, construction of roads and culverts, planting trees, so building houses, so many activities, social welfare activities and social development activities are carried out to in your name so that the blessings can be conveyed to you. You always ask us to treat everyone with equality, to not discriminate, to alleviate poverty, to take the middle path. Let us all commit to do that. And as a writer, as a philosopher, as a guiding light, as a leader to humankind, you have shown through example how to lead a good life, a fruitful life. So today I convey blessings to you and everyone who is present here, Dr. Charika Marasinghe and current chairperson, Dr. Vinya Ariyaratne. I thank you, and also all other members of Sarvodaya family. I thank you, and may the triple gem bless you, and I wish you the strength and the wisdom to convey on this path. Thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Venerable Kopyavatte Bodhananda Thero. Today, for over 2 hours, the session went on for over 2 hours, but the Venerable Thero has been providing us support throughout, providing us guidance throughout the organizing of this event. And today, for the past 2 hours, so many people from many parts of the world have been part of this session to convey their wishes, their well wishes to Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne. So I would like to thank all of them. And we also have another such eminent personality joining us from India today.
Now we have with us Dr. Kiran Bedi from India. Dr. Bedi was the first woman in India to join the officer ranks of the Indian Police Service and voluntarily retired in 2007 as the Director General, Bureau of Police Research and Development, and was also the 24th Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. She is a great friend of Sarvodaya for more than 3 decades. She inspired Sarvodaya Vishwaniketan to introduce meditation as a rehabilitation for prisoners in the Colombo jail. Over to you, Dr. Bedi.
Dr. Ariyaratne, I hope you're listening to me. I pray, I thank the Almighty for giving you a healthy and a very good and a productive long life. Ah, I see you now, Doctor. I see you. You are very blessed with wonderful family and daughter Charika. God's grace that you are blessed with very good long life and healthy life and productive life. Charika, and that's your wife. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I most fondly remember my visit to your home, your hospitality, your center, your care, your love, and the assemblies, the large assemblies. I fondly remember.
Again, please come. You look so beautiful, so young. You are most welcome. So young. Come again.
Yes, I will come. I'm doing a book. I will do a book release in Sri Lanka. Next year, I'll come to Sri Lanka, do a book release.
Yeah, great. Welcome.
Yes, I will coordinate with Charika and come to Sri Lanka for a book release. And I want you to release that book for me.
Right, right. Thank you. Thank you.
Very happy birthday. God be with you.
Thank you.
You've served humanity with such abundance of energy, heart and soul, you and your family. Great admiration for you. Thank you. I want to thank Charika for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Go, Charika.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bedi, for connecting from India.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, Charika. Thank you. When you visit Delhi, please stay with me like you kept me in your home. You be with my home.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charika. God bless. Anything more,
බොහොම
Charika?
ස්තුතියි. බොහොම ස්තුතියි ආචාර්ය කිරන් බේදී අප හා සම්බන්ධ වූයේ.
Thank you, Dr. Kiran Bedi, for that intervention. Thank you very much. I want to extend my sincere appreciation to everyone who joined online for this very important event. Now over to Mr. Daya Muthukumarana, who will deliver the vote of thanks for the day.
To make this presentation on behalf of the Ariyaratne Trust and myself to felicitate Desamani Dr. Ariyaratne on his 90th birth anniversary celebrations. I met Dr. Ariyaratne as far back as 1990 at an international conference held in Colorado, organized by the Colorado University, where he chaired the conference and also he made the inaugural address of the conference. I was very happy to hear a Sri Lankan presiding a conference attended by very important personalities, including presidents and also prime ministers and cabinet ministers of various countries, numbering about 200 persons. He spelled out the need for a change to create a new human being, and he spelled out that the individual's potential should be accepted by the wealth and the people who have power and wealth to reorganize the situation. He wanted human groups to come forward and make much more active participation in the development of human being. After that, I was made the chairman of the Ariyaratne Trust, and we did many programs based on his vision and skills, and they were quite successful program. We wish you, sir, many more years of happiness and wisdom and health, good health. Thank you.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි දයා මුතුකුමාර මහත්මයාණනි.
Thank you, Mr. Daya Muthukumarana. Now, in conclusion, the final song of blessings will be sung by Visharada Chamika Malshani. Now, thank you very much.
Siva Siva Itua tu sale Satu sikhe Siva Siva Itua tu sale Sate Nireva Nade Dehemive Nuvede Viva Kaive Siva Siva Itua tu sare leva Satu sikhe Deva